Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of the recap. What is the recap? The recap is about the episode previous on Playerole. What happened, the importance of the episode. I'm not going to go into 100% spoilers, but I will tell you things that did occur. And please watch the stream, support us on Playerole, support the stream and the guys. We have a great time filming, and hopefully you do too, watching us. Anyways, let's begin. Episode 3, the recap. It all started with these harsh individuals. There are 6 of them: Jericho, Lindo, Mitri, Atreus, Nashley, Rose, and Dorman. These are a group of individuals that, in the beginning, their mission was to go into the city of Golin and destroy, kill, maim. You know, it was meant to be an evil campaign or an evil side story. What happened was things started to slide. I'm not going to tell you exactly how, but things started to slide. And this group went from being a little nasty to changing their ways because they decided to, well, things happen. And what happened that made them turn? Well, sometimes being evil, there are consequences to that. These individuals thought they can go into town, cause havoc, maim, kill, etc. But the main thing was not even the group. These group of individuals had issues. What were those issues? Well, Leandra, giving birth to a baby, she put her baby in a wagon, and that wagon fled, left the city. From episode 1 and 2, they got into a big scuffle with the knights that protected the town. An organization called the Order of the Light. What is the Order of the Light? I'm not going to get into that. You're going to have to find out. Watch the stream. Major characters from episode 1 to now, they fought a black dragon. The black dragon was chained. Pretty much didn't do anything. But when the black dragon, they found catacombs. Let's backtrack there. They found catacombs underneath the city. Well, they had this big scuffle with the Order of the Light. They retreated. They said, okay, we need to get out of here. So as they progressed, things started to occur. One of the main PCs, Mitri, decided, hey, let's have a coup. Let's take out our leader. And they did. And that started a cycle from being evil, essentially, and then moving on, changing a bit to the light. Now, what happened? Check out the stream. I want to keep saying that. It's great role-playing moments, and I really hate to throw it out to you here, but I will give you the points, the footnotes of the episodes. Leading up to last week's episode, the group had met the celestial turtle. His name was Duman. And Duman told them, well, you're at the crossroads. Crossroads to what? The PCs didn't really give him anything to go by. So he didn't divulge anything. They tried to pick and prod, but he only gave them what they needed to hear, which the crossroads. And he said the only way you're going to move from one point to another to leave this location is for you to answer 5 riddles. You need to get 3 out of the 5. Simple, right? Well, they did. They missed 1. Again, I'm not going to go into the little intricacies of the episode, but I will tell you the celestial turtle he was cool. They liked him, and they had a lot of fun with the celestial turtle. But anyways, moving on, they were teleported to where they needed to be, and they met Leandra Ordell. Leandra Ordell, for those of you who don't know and are chiming in, Leandra Ordell is Lila's mother. Leandra had 3 children: Lila, Jaros, and Laros, triplets. Lila has the ability to channel gods. She is called the Gift by the Drow. If you watched the campaign early on, the Drow, she's called the Gift by many other races. Why? They don't understand why. Maybe because she channels. The group, upon meeting Lila, and let's talk about Lila a little bit since we're on the NPC, they met her. Well, they thought she was the leader of the group. They thought that Lila Ordell was the leader of the Order of the Light. They thought wrong. Lindo, the Minotaur, killed her. Or so he thought. She came back. She started to rise above it all. Why? They realized she had this cloak. This mysterious cloak. Red on the outside and blue on the inside. Well, they realized that the cloak has mysterious qualities. They found out the cloak happens to be the Phoenix Cloak, a very, very unique and legendary item, or a piece of armor, per se. Well, that's not even the problem. They fought her, and they were losing. After the battle, she left. There was some discourse, and it went from that point on. But last episode, they had a problem, a situation that came about. And the situation was they had to find 11 items. 11 items to figure out the gift. What was Lila? What was she? What is she? Can these items disrupt the evil that they just met? Think about it, guys. They're a group called the Crimson Riders. They're a group that were ordered to go to town, go to the city of Golan and kill the leader of the Order of the Light. That was their main mission. Well, things got convoluted. Things changed. There was a coup. And they met Lila Ordell. Thinking she was the leader, they killed her and she came back. Rose from the dead. And I did mention a dragon. The dragon which they fought, which almost killed them, was chained up. Granted, dragons are bad, dragons are good. Dragons are out for their own thing. Even the good ones. They're out for their own problems. They are out for me. That's who they care about. But they don't know that. All they saw was the dragon was chained up. But I'm going all over the place. I don't want to confuse you all. So I will tell you the order of the events. The town, underneath, the catacombs underneath the city. They found the dragon. And from the dragon, they had a big fight with Lila Ordell. They lost. She fled. Even though they lost, she fled. And now we're here. They met the celestial turtle, Duman. And he showed them the way. answering the riddles correctly, as he promised, he showed him the way. And now they teleported to a different place, a town called the Light, where Leandra Ordell, Lila's mother, is there. She tells him, she says, look, you are invading my home. What are you doing there? So when that occurred, Lindo attacks first. Had enough. Doesn't want to hear her monologue, doesn't want to hear her say anything. He attacks. Without recourse, he attacks. She throws a card. Happens to be one of the deck of many things, by the way. Throws a card. There's a burst of light behind the card. It whooshes behind his ear, or close enough to his ear, almost cutting him. The card hits the table, it solidifies, and that burst damaged him. Doesn't understand what just happened. He gets hit hard and fast and falls. The meeting with Leandra was very dangerous. Leandra was very dangerous. The PCs moved forward. Meanwhile, Atreus, the High Elf, is befriending this spiritual girl, the young version of Lila. She's in spirit form, and she says, hey, we need to play hide and go seek. I'm trying to hide from my brothers. If it wasn't for that young girl helping Atreus out, the party probably would have died. Leandra Ordell was not messing around. She had warned them. She said, this is my home. You're invading my home. What are you doing here? Not one gave them the proper answer. Jericho tried to communicate with her, but she wasn't having it. So let me backtrack here. Where do we get to this point? Last episode, they realized that they had to find certain items. A wooden cross, a book of the dead, the deck of many things, a wooden stake, a vampire, yes, a vampire, the phoenix cloak, mithril armor, a dangerous sword, a dragon queen, eye of a fiend, and a crystal ball. 11 items they have to find. We don't know, or I don't know, because I'm the DM. I don't know if they're going to find them. But they found most of them. And to give the party credit, they tried their darnest to find these items. And with the help of the spirit form of Lila, and with the help of each other and working as a team, they managed to find the Book of the Dead, a wooden cross, the deck, well, not the deck of many things, a dangerous sword, mithril armor. Gotta give them credit, they found it 4, maybe 5 items. I'm not gonna get into exactly what they found. You're gonna have to check the stream out. But these items are important. And what do they mean? What is going on? And what is Leandra? Why is she so harsh to these individuals? She says to them, she says, you're in my home. You're invading my home. And she knows exactly who they are. She says, you're evil. You invaded my home. You destroyed the city of Golin. You destroyed it. You wanted to burn it. You wanted to do so many evil, incomprehensible things, and yet they want to talk who's good and who's bad in my home. She turned around and she told them how it is. She told them everything. She said, hey, I am not going to stop and Atreus, the high elves, tried to explain to her about her daughter. She wouldn't have it. She wasn't having it. So they left, or they were teleported to another area where they're up against a Litch. The fiend. The eye of a fiend. The Litch. At the end of that area, this cave, this large open space filled with zombies, they fought to the death, almost to the death. Some fell, some didn't. They found a dagger, a double-bladed dagger. I left it there. The end of the game was there. I didn't want to proceed on. But that battle was to the death. The Lich hit him with a fireball. He had different abilities. And for those of you who are DMs and know what a Lich has, you know what I'm talking about. He wasn't holding back. They realize he has something around his neck, so the arcane archer focuses on his neck. He had some form of item on his neck, some form of power. And what happened to Nashley Rose, the sorceress? She was gone for 2 episodes. She was gone. She left. Somehow, something happened. She hit a wall and they see her clothes. And she went through a portal, or something grabbed her. What happened to Nashley Rose? Will she be back? Will she be ever back? Did she die? Those are the things that you're going to have to find out in this upcoming episode. Leandra Ordell, the center, like her daughter, Lila Ordell, of the story of the Light in Campaign 2. Of course, the mother has issues. What are those issues? Why does she have the deck of many things? And how is she using them so accurately? How is she solidifying the cards, powering up the cards, and using them to her own whim? The player characters did not see that coming. In fact, she moved closer to Dorman and Dorman moved back. A deadly individual. The group, even though they're deadly, did not want to fight. Except for the Minotaur. And then that happened, and it started a chain of events, and the battle ensued. But they left because they knew that Leandra wasn't going to stop. Now, out of everything here, Harsh Reality was designed, and let me tell you a little bit about this, was designed as an evil side story. As a DM, you know you're the narrator, you are the world of that scenario. And if the players go a different way, they go a different way. I had no clue that one of the players was going to start a coup. And it was cool because the way I see it, being evil, right? Being evil, evil, I want to burn a town, I want to do whatever, I want to pillage, I want to do whatever, I want to steal everything in the town. That's evil, right? Even individuals that are evil have consequences. There are consequences. They went up against knights. They killed them in the town of Golan. They killed the knights, slaughtered them. They were going to kill or destroy the whole wagon that held the baby in it. There was a priest some form of mage in the wagon and teleported the baby out. But they killed him. Would they have killed the baby? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It all depends on how they do things. What they did, that's the PCs. And that's role-playing, my friends. You know the way it is. Now, as an evil campaign or an evil side story, would you have a coup? No. But something happened with these harsh individuals. Something happened. They saw something. They thought, we're here to kill a leader of the Order of the Light, and yet we're doing something else. Why? It goes to tell you that true evil, deep, dark evil, is not the Crimson Riders. They're not dark evil. They're not evil at all. They are confused individuals. They are manipulated individuals. They don't know what they're doing. As a group, they know what they're doing. Story-wise, they know where to go. They know what to do. As a group, they work together well. But as far as being evil, that's a whole new ballgame, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone can say they can play evil in a story. And if your thought process is to burn and pillage and do all that, by all means do it. But there are consequences in that trial, in that location. If you're in an airship and you slaughter people in the airship, there's going to be consequences. In a tavern, in a city. The player characters of Harsh Reality went to the city of Golan, and their mission was to kill the leader of the Order of the Light. They're good, but even the good people have their issues. They killed Leandra's significant other, but it wasn't her husband. It was the fling, Godard Thane. Godard Thane and her had 3 children. Her husband is Cullum Ordell, a good man. But what happened to him? The story continues, folks. Gonna have to watch the stream. There's a lot going on here in Harsh Reality. It's a 6-part side story from the main campaign. But what I'm going to do, and I'm doing, is connecting everything. Because whatever happens here is going to affect the events in the main campaign. And those of you who are watching, stay with us because it's going to be hot. The player characters from the main campaign are going to join in, and they're going to say, what the hell? These nasty individuals, the Crimson Riders, and I say that in my intros because I know their intentions were evil and they were nasty. But now they're becoming heroes. Each and every one of them. They can say, we embrace evil, but you know what? They're becoming heroes. A lawful good celestial turtle named Dumond spoke to them. They could have attacked the turtle. They didn't. They talked. And they got where they needed to be. The turtle, Dumond, told them You're at the crossroads. What does that mean? No one in the party understood that, but they will in this next episode coming. There is so much that these individuals, harsh individuals, have to do in so little time. But the important thing, folks, is to remember that these bad guys are becoming heroes. They don't see it yet. Every stroke of their sword, every time they go into battle, every time they move forward, is a next step of becoming a hero. And evil is far away from who they were. Evil is not even in their sights. The true evil that they once were, that they wanted to be, are no longer. And if you think that I'm wrong, watch a stream. One PC says, I'll follow the leader. The other one says, I want to start a coup. The other one says, I cannot. I don't know. We're not doing the right thing. We need to find a way. We need to find these items. But why? What happened to their main mission? They went off on their own. They were handed the torch. They grabbed the torch and went on. They're going up the steps to new heights, achieving higher than anyone. The Order of the Light, the group of individuals that was supposed to save the town, are now evil. They killed, or not by their hands, they washed their hands. They sent Godard Thane to the unknown region where there's creatures, deadly creatures, that a human could not handle on his own. But something happened between now and then. And the timeline, the order of things, the events that occurred from then and now shifted. Folks, stay with us. We have one hell of a story, one hell of a game. Like, subscribe, get the word out for Playerole. Stay with us, folks. I urge you, I've got some great content, a lot of fun here in Playerole. Stay with us, support us, get the word out. Look for Playerole on Discord. Look us up on Kick, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, of course, Twitch, U42. Look us up at all those social media. Instagram, did I forget something? And look me up on playerole.com and the website. I'll see you next week. And I mean next week for episode 20, season 2. But tomorrow, episode 19 of Harsh Reality. So we got 2 weeks back to back. Join us, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.